Okay, so this is a guide to get the guitar tone from Interstellar Stomper. I'll start by playing the track and then playing the guitar remake, and then I'll get to how to do this. So let's start with this. Okay, I would say that's pretty accurate. So the first thing we're going to start with is inputting your guitar signal and then gating it. So I have this record to this track and then I send it to 2 tracks. Then one of the tracks I invert the polarity of it, and then I have this compressor plugin work as a gate. The next thing is to send those 2 tracks to 1 track, and this is where we do the main effects. So first off, we're getting rid of the unnecessary frequencies such as below 20 and above 18,000 hertz. Then we start with correcting the input levels for your guitar. For me, it would be this. Now we start with Ibanez tube screamer emulation. We're going to have the drive and levels at the 75%. And next is up with a 5150 clone for the power amp channel. At least that's what I think it is from what I remember. Then we're going to crank the knobs on everything except for the gain, and then you can set the output level to whichever you please. Next is up is what would be the impulse response. It was boosting and subtractively affecting frequencies that are corresponding to the scale. So this is a B, this is a F sharp, that's a B, that's an A sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp, G, F sharp, D, B, A, C sharp, B, C sharp, A, G sharp, F sharp, D, and C sharp. Then we're going to send that to 1 channel to do the reverb. For the reverb, we're setting it at 75%, having the pre-delay be 1/16th note, having the decay time be 2.2 seconds. How you get 2.2 seconds, you run this equation, which is 60,000 divided by what your BPM is. In this case, it'll be 111, and that gives you the length of 1 beat. You then multiply that before and you get 2.162 seconds, and it rounds off to 2.2 seconds. You take off the dampening, high cut and low cut, set the size to 80, set the diffusion to 100, don't mess with any of the chorus options, and don't mess with the crossover and bass options. Then on that reverb channel, you have a low pass filter, the 6 dB slope at D, which is at 1175 hertz. Then from those 2 channels, you have them sent to 1 channel, and now you have that sent to work as a gate again to get rid of the transients, and that also gets rid of a little bit of the high end as well. So just like how the gate was on the first part, it's the same as this part. And the next thing is you just run a limiter at -6 dB and with a fast attack and a medium release. This is what it would sound like without the transient gate though. So it's kind of subtle. It really just makes it sound like it's in a mix and gets rid of the transient, so a little bit of a softer sort of sound. Okay, now how to do this. So the first thing you do is you listen to the original and you pay attention to the harmonics generated. That will give you the correct levels of how you should EQ things. So like you can like literally see the notes, and a good part is very low notes like these first few notes over here, and where it plays a lot of notes in a short time, like hair. So that part is playing E at like 650 hertz, then D at 580 hertz, and C sharp at 554 hertz, B at 494 hertz, A at 440 hertz, 440 hertz, a G at 392 hertz, F sharp at 370 hertz, and some notes after that. But these notes, like for example, if we were to get the notes of E and the harmonics, we get that E, 1300 E, B at 1975, E at 2600, G sharp at 3322, B at 3951 hertz, and then so on. But this also tells you where you should do the cutoff, which is where you play the highest note. In that case, it'd be this B here for this section, this harmonic. The highest note in that would be this D sharp here that plays in this B harmonic, 4978 hertz. That tell you to cut off at E and F sharp to have your low pass filter set. Next is the reverb. So how to get the reverb is you enable the side channel option in the stereo shaper, and it will give you what the reverb sounds like, the levels. Because the guitar is in mono, it only plays the reverb. So what you want to do is back at this harmonic again, you will see that B plays at this 6 decibel line, and that will tell us to use it at 75% at the corresponding level at which we're playing our guitar at. And it also tells us how much and when to low pass the reverb, which is this D at 1175 hertz. And the next thing is why to use this amp and this tube screamer. So if you were to play these notes over here, if you notice that like these notes are practically unaffected, the frequencies that I said from E 659 hertz to G at 392 hertz, none of those notes are EQ'd, and you'll find that the levels perfectly match when you have the tube screamer and the 5150 clone. Yeah. Another thing to do is do a noise test. So this is just noise from my guitar, and set a limiter so it's always at the same level. So we're just gonna run a default 5150 and see what it looks like. And then when we enable the tube screamer, there's a little bit more mids added to it, a little bit more of a sort of bassier, sort of mid-heavy sound, sort of muddy. So yeah, that's the observation to be made that makes you want to use that. There's one more thing. When you are playing, play your guitar where this D would be like... Yeah, you want to place so that D note is sort of like boosted from your pick attack, and also this F sharp. That F sharp, the C sharp of it, which is the second harmonic of it, is also boosted. And you'll find that all those parts of that note are all boosted by playing at the same place with your right hand. So that is another thing to take info. And the last thing is on your audio interface, for example, I would turn on the drive option on my interface, which gives it a little bit more of a closer sound to how it would be in Shredded Serpent. I also incorrectly said that the guitar was played with Shredded Hydra in my last video, but it's actually using Shredded Serpent. I assume that because it plays down to an A at like this heavy rhythm part, but it's actually, Shredded Serpent is actually drop tuned to play an A, so it plays on that range. Yeah, that's everything. Thanks DM Dokuro for making the song, and all these plugins are free. I'll send the FST, I believe is the effects preset. I'll send the effects preset so you can see this for yourself and try it out. But yeah, that's everything.